Why did you help me? Eli's voice cut to the cold air of his cluttered garage as Maya stood there, her small hands gripping a mug of cocoa, eyes wide with unspoken fear. The young girl shivered, her bare feet streaked with dirt, but she stayed quiet. And Eli, he couldn't look away. "You're the first person who's ever really seen me," she whispered, her voice small but fierce. What she didn't know, what no one knew, was that Eli had just unknowingly walked into a battle far bigger than a car crash. A battle that would drag them all into a web of betrayal, danger, and dark secrets buried deeper than anyone could imagine. And someone was already watching. The fog clung to Ashford like a secret, muffling the morning and casting the town in a gray haze. Eli Dawson's garage was a sanctuary of clanging tools and the sharp tang of motor oil, a place where the world made sense. At 42, Eli was a man of routine. His hands knew engines better than people, and he liked it that way. The radio murmured a half-forgotten Tom Petty song as he wrestled with a stubborn alternator on a 96 Ford. Then came the sound that broke the rhythm. Footsteps, soft but deliberate, crunching on the gravel outside. Eli froze, rag in hand, and peered through the open garage door. A girl stood there, no more than 10, her bare feet dirt-streaked, her nightgown torn and damp. Her eyes were wide, wild, like a deer caught in headlights, and her breath hitched in shallow bursts. Eli's firefighting days, though years behind him, sharpened his senses. He crouched, keeping his voice low and steady. "Hey there, you all right?" She shook her head, arms wrapped tight around herself. "My mom, she's hurt. Our car crashed. In the woods. I ran to find help." Eli's pulse quickened, but he kept his face calm. "What's your name, kid?" "Maya," she whispered, shivering. "All right, Maya, you're safe now." He grabbed a wool blanket from a shelf, draped it over her shoulders, and guided her to a battered couch in the garage's corner. He poured cocoa from a thermos, the steam curling in the chilly air, and handed her the mug. Her hands trembled as she gripped it. Eli pulled out his phone. No bars, typical for Ashford's dead zones. He opened Google Maps, knelt beside her, and said, "Show me where the crash was." Maya's finger wavered, then tapped a spot deep in the woods, near Blackthorn Creek. Eli dropped a pen, typing a note. "Car crash, injured woman, urgent. Child safe at Dawson's garage." He sent it to the county's emergency app, hoping it would sync later. "Stay put," he told her. "I'm going to check on your mom." He grabbed a flashlight, first aid kit, and a crowbar, then headed out. The woods were dense, the air sharp with pine and damp earth. Maya's directions, past the creek, near the lightning-struck oak, guided him through the mist. 20 minutes later, he found it. A black SUV. It had crumpled against a tree, windshield spiderwebbed. The driver's door hung open, but the seat was empty. No blood, no body. Just a purse spilled across the floor, a cracked phone glowing faintly, and a single shoe in the mud. Eli's stomach knotted. Where was Maya's mother? He called out, "Hello? Anyone here?" The forest swallowed his voice. He scanned for tracks, but the ground was a mess of leaves and roots. Something felt wrong, like the air held a secret it wouldn't share. He snapped photos, then hurried back to the garage. Maya was still on the couch, clutching the empty mug. "Did you find her?" she asked, voice barely audible. "Not yet," Eli admitted, sitting beside her. "But I found the car. Help's coming." He hesitated, then asked, "What's your mom's name?" "Charlotte," she said. "Charlotte Lennox." The name hit like a spark in a gas tank. Charlotte Lennox wasn't just a mom. She was a tech titan, a name tied to AI breakthroughs and congressional hearings. Her face had been on Time's cover, her company a lightning rod for controversy. What was she doing in Ashford, crashing in the woods? Why was her kid alone? Eli wanted to ask, but Maya's haunted eyes stopped him. He handed her a granola bar and waited, the questions piling up like unpaid bills. An hour later, the air thrummed with sound Ashford rarely heard. Helicopter rotors. A black chopper descended beside the garage, kicking up dust and rattling wrenches. Men in dark suits spilled out, led by a tall man with a buzz cut and a badge clipped to his belt. "Agent Harlan, Homeland Security," he said, his voice cutting through the noise. You dropped a pin on a crash site. Where's the girl? Eli stepped forward, blocking Maya's view. She's here. What's this about? Harlan's eyes flicked to Maya, who shrank behind Eli. We found Charlotte Lennox. She's alive. Concussion, fractured ribs, some cuts. She's at St. Mary's Hospital. She asked for her daughter. He paused, studying Eli. And for you. Eli blinked. Me? Why? She says you saved her kid. Wants you to bring Maya to her. Eli's mind raced. Homeland Security for a car crash? The math didn't add up. But Maya's hand slipped into his, small and cold, and he nodded. All right, let's go. St. Mary's smelled of antiseptic and fear. Charlotte Lennox lay in a hospital bed, her face bruised, and for dripping into her arm. Maya ran to her, burying her face in her mother's chest. Charlotte's eyes, sharp despite the pain, locked onto Eli. You kept her safe, she said, voice raw. Thank you. Just did what anyone would, Eli muttered, shifting on his feet. Charlotte's lips curved faintly. Not anyone. She gestured to a chair. Sit. I owe you more than words. Eli sat, wary. Charlotte's voice was steady as she laid out her proposal. A nonprofit, the Dawson Initiative, to repair vehicles for veterans, single parents, and low-income families. You've got the skills, the heart, she said. I've got the money, the connections. We can make a difference. Eli's jaw tightened. The garage was his world, small and controlled, leading a nonprofit, stepping into Charlotte's orbit. That was a different beast. I'm no hero, he said. I'll think about it. Charlotte's gaze held his, unyielding but warm. You already are. 6 months later, the garage was a hive of purpose. The Dawson Initiative sign hung proudly, its logo, a wrench crossed with an oak branch, gleaming in the sun. Veterans trained as mechanics, their hands steady with purpose. Teens, some fresh from juvie, learned carburetors and confidence. Cars rolled out, fixed and free, into the hands of families who'd known too many hard days. Eli, once a loner, now led with quiet grit, though he still ducked the spotlight. Charlotte was a constant presence. Her city polish traded for flannel and boots. Boardrooms had lost their pull. Ashford's simplicity grounded her. Maya, now 11, thrived. Her mural on the garage wall, a tree with roots of kindness, branches of hope, drew visitors who left donations and stories. The garage wasn't just a business. It was Ashford's pulse. But shadows lingered. Late one night, Agent Harlan returned, his face carved with warning. You didn't just save a kid, Eli. You walked into a war. He leaned closer, voice low. Charlotte and Maya were running from someone. Victor Kane, a ghost in the tech world. He's got money, connections, and a grudge. Your pen didn't just call us. It flagged him. He's gone for now. But men like Kane don't forgive. Eli's blood ran cold. You're saying we're targets? Harlan's silence was louder than words. Charlotte, overhearing, stepped in. I bought the lot next door. Security systems, cameras, hired muscle. We're staying, Eli. This is home. The story wasn't a straight line. It twisted like a mountain road. Charlotte hadn't crashed by chance. Victor Kane was no ordinary enemy. He was a predator, a man who built an empire on stolen data, blackmail, and blood. Charlotte had been his partner years ago, a brilliant coder who had helped design his AI systems. When she discovered his crimes, hacking governments, rigging markets, she turned whistleblower, leaking evidence to the feds. Kane swore revenge, and he tracked her to Ashford, tampering with her SUV's brakes. The crash was meant to silence her and Maya, a message to anyone else who dare cross him. Eli's pen, a reflex born of compassion, had done more than summon help. It had pinged a federal watch list, tying Kane's digital signature to the crash site. Homeland Security had swooped in, arresting Kane's operatives, though he vanished into the dark web's underbelly. Eli, without knowing it, had derailed a conspiracy worth billions. But a question burned in Eli's gut, one he couldn't shake. Why had Charlotte chosen him? She could have started her nonprofit in any city, with any mechanic. Was it gratitude? Or was he a piece in a chess game she wasn't showing? The doubt festered, even as he grew closer to her and Maya. He confronted her one night in garage, the air thick with the scent of grease and paint. "Charlotte, no games," he said, crossing his arms. "Why me? Why here?" Her eyes met his, steady but guarded. "Because you're real, Eli. No angles, no greed. You saw a scared kid and acted. I've lived in a world where trust is a trap. You're the opposite." Her words landed, but Eli sensed a crack in her armor. Was she shielding him from Kane's reach, or hiding something deeper? He let it go, but the question lingered like a loose bolt. The Dawson initiative grew, but so did the tension. One evening, Eli found a note slipped under the garage door. "You can't hide forever." No signature, just sharp, slanted handwriting. He showed it to Charlotte, whose face paled. "Kane," she whispered. "He's closer than I thought." Harlan confirmed it days later. Kane had resurfaced, his network still active. "He's not just after Charlotte," Harlan said. "He knows you're the one who blew his plan. You're on his list now." Eli's world tilted. He wasn't just a mechanic anymore. He was a target. But Ashford rallied. The veterans in the program, trained in more than wrenches, patrolled the lot. The teens loyal to Eli kept eyes on strangers. Charlotte installed a panic room in the garage, its door hidden behind a tool rack. Maya, tougher now, carried a whistle and knew every escape route. Then came the night that changed everything. Eli was locking up when headlights pierced the fog. A black van idled at the lot's edge, its driver obscured. Eli's hand tightened on the crowbar. He kept by the door. The van's window rolled down. A voice, cold, precise, called out, "You should have stayed, small Dawson." Eli didn't flinch. "Get off my land." The van peeled away, but the threat hung heavy. Charlotte, shaken, revealed the final piece. Kane wasn't just after revenge. He wanted a prototype AI Charlotte had built, hidden in a secure server. It could predict human behavior with terrifying accuracy, a tool for control in the wrong hands. She'd planned to destroy it, but Kane's attack had forced her to run. "We end this," Eli said. "No more running." The Dawson initiative became a fortress and a symbol. A single mom drove away in a repaired sedan, her kids waving from the backseat. A veteran, once lost to PTSD, now mentored teens, his hand steady on a torque wrench. Maya's mural grew, its colors a defiance of fear. The town stood with Eli. Farmers dropped off supplies. Shopkeepers shared whispers of strangers. Ashford wasn't just a place. It was a family. One afternoon, as Eli taught Maya to change an oil filter, he paused. "Kid, you ever wonder what's next? For you, your mom, this place?" Maya grinned, smudged with grease. "We're home, Eli. You're stuck with us." His chest warmed, but Kane's shadow loomed. Could they outrun a man who turned trust into a weapon? If this story's got you gripped, smash that like and subscribe for more tales that twist and pull you in. What would you do if a single act of kindness made you a target? Share your thoughts below. Let's keep the fire burning. A year after the crash, Eli, Charlotte, and Maya stood on a hill overlooking Ashford. The town sparkled under a harvest moon, the garage's lights a steady heartbeat. Charlotte's hand found Eli's, her touch a quiet vow. Maya, sketching the skyline, hummed a tune she'd learned from a radio. Harlan's final visit brought closure. Kane had been cornered in a sting, his empire shattered. The prototype AI was destroyed, its code burned to ash. Kane's operatives were in cuffs, his threats silenced. But Eli knew peace was fragile. He'd upgraded the garage's security, motion sensors, reinforced doors, a direct line to Harlan. Ashford was home, but it was also a stronghold. Charlotte broke the silence. Regret it? Dropping that pin. Eli laughed, his eyes on the stars. Not a chance. The garage stood as proof. Small acts, a blanket for a child, a pin on a map, a mug of cocoa, could ripple outward, mending lives and forging something unbreakable. Eli, Charlotte, and Maya weren't just survivors. They were a family, built from crisis, rooted in trust. Ashford, once it on a map, was now a beacon, its story etched in every repaired car, every painted branch, every life touched. But the ending wasn't just happy, it was clear. Kane was gone, his shadow lifted. The Dawson Initiative would grow, its mission etched in Ashford's soul. Eli, no longer just a mechanic, was a leader, his heart as steady as his hands. Charlotte, free from her past, was his partner in every sense. Maya, safe and strong, was their light. And Ashford, forever changed, proved that kindness, even in the face of danger, could rebuild a world.